Welcome back, troops, to Let's Tab 59. I hope everybody's well. Now, this is completely unplanned video, as usual. No script, no planning. I was just out for a little tab and I thought, oh, I know, I want to have a chat and ask you some, especially veterans, a few questions, just to see what everybody thinks. So I'm always interested in what other veterans think. So what I wanted to chat to you about was when we were serving, when you guys were serving, I've got my own thoughts and I will touch on those. But when you were serving, guys and girls, not the reason why you joined up, but when you were serving, did you feel that your service, especially on operations, was that you were defending our people, defending the United Kingdom, defending our country? Did you feel you were doing that? Certainly on operations. Now, obviously, World War II veterans, they were definitely fighting for our country. They were fighting in defence of the people, their families, their homeland. Because obviously, there was this massive threat across Europe as Europe was falling to the Nazis in World War II, getting ever closer to Great Britain, and of course all the air raids, the bombing. People were joining up, a lot of people conscripted obviously, but they must have felt, I'm sure they did, that they were fighting for their homeland, for their country, for their people, to defend them, defend our way of life, etc. But what about, I'm walking across a ploughed field here, so I'm all over the place, but what about the wars after World War II? So we had a few proxy wars. Well, we had Korea, didn't we? I mean, did those lads that fought in Korea, do you think, whether they were conscript or volunteers, did they feel that they were in that conflict in Korea fighting to defend our country, our homeland? I don't know. They were fighting communism, I suppose, under the UN flag initially, wasn't it? But all the other little wars, Malaya, Aden, Borneo, I've spoke about these conflicts before. These are sort of fading empire conflicts, end of empire conflicts. If they were fighting in those wars, did they feel that they were defending their homeland, their country? Maybe they thought they were defending the empire. I don't know. And of course, conflicts like Northern Ireland, how I felt as a young soldier at the time, not knowing very much, I don't know much now. I'm not the brightest spark, as you know. But when I went to Northern Ireland initially, I thought I was doing something for the United Kingdom. I thought I was doing something in defence of British people, because I understood that the people in Northern Ireland were British. Now, not all the people in Northern Ireland, then or now, feel part of Britain. Obviously, you've got the Republican side, and many of those don't recognise themselves as British. But we went out there, or I felt we went out there. Maybe I've been sold the story. We went out there to support the police, I thought, to defend people and property out there, British people and property. So I did feel I was doing something for the country, if you know what I mean. And I'm sure the people that fought in the Falklands War, I didn't go to the Falklands War. I was in the army at the time, I was serving, but I didn't deploy to the Falklands in the war, or after the war. I've never been to the Falklands. Now, the people down the Falklands consider themselves British, and those islands were British, or are British. So I wonder if those guys felt that that's what they were doing, that they were defending our homeland. Now, when it comes to things like the Balkans, Kosovo, Bosnia, Macedonia, when all that kicked off, let's go up this way, it's not so lumpy underfoot. Now, those conflicts in the Balkans, I went to the Bosnia. I don't think I felt when I went there that I was defending the UK people or defending the nation. It was a peacekeeping role. In fact, as you know, we didn't even receive medals from the Queen for that conflict. We either got a United Nations medal and or a NATO medal. So that was a UN mission and then later a NATO mission. So, and again, NATO, for instance, was supposedly a defensive organisation. Article 5 states that if you're a member of a NATO and your country is attacked by another country, then all the other member countries, all the other member states would come to your aid. Well, from what I can see of it, Yugoslavia, as it was originally known, wasn't attacking the United Kingdom or any other NATO country, was it? Or am I wrong? So when I went to Bosnia on the peacekeeping missions and peace enforcement missions, I didn't feel that I was fighting or serving my country in defence of my nation or my people. Gulf War I, I didn't go to that. From what I can see, that was just to safeguard the West's oil supplies. So was that defending our people and our country? I don't know. Afghanistan, that one pops up. Well, from what I can see of that, and again, I'm no expert, we sort of followed the United States because they'd been attacked on 9/11. And we knew that Al-Qaeda was out there in Afghanistan, and so they went out there to revenge or to stop happening again, I don't know. I didn't go to Afghanistan. And then of course Iraq, the second Gulf War, if you like, the Iraq War. Well, when I went out to that, and I did go to that, we were under the impression, I was certainly, and I wasn't a young soldier when I went to Iraq, 2004, we were under the impression that Saddam Hussein had got weapons of mass destruction. Now, whether he had them or not, I don't know. Apparently, there's no documented evidence that I've seen that he had got weapons of mass destruction. But we felt, I think at the time, that because he was allied with Al-Qaeda, so to speak, or one of these other organisations, that if he had weapons of mass destruction, he could well use them on the West. In other words, could he send something over to the UK and bomb us with something, or I don't know. So that was a little bit different, I suppose. But I would be interested to know what your thoughts are. I mean, we all joined up for different reasons, and I'm going to do a video on why I joined up and why I think other people, find out what other people joined up for. But that aside, well, the Cold War, for instance, I served throughout the Cold War. When I was serving in Germany, in BOR, British Army of the Rhine, out in West Germany and West Berlin, we felt that the main threat to us would be the Soviet Union, the Warsaw Pact, invading Western Europe and possibly going to a nuclear or chemical or even biological war. And so I felt then that we had a purpose. We were serving our country. By being there, we were defending the West, defending our country, serving our people. But a lot of these wars, like I say, after World War II, put Northern Ireland to the side. I think we was trying to do something there for British people. And obviously the Falklands War, the guys that went down there done a marvellous job. I'm sure they felt they were doing a job of defending British people, albeit Falkland Islanders, under the British flag. But yeah, what about the rest of it? What are these other wars? I mean, you join the army for different reasons. I don't think I joined up to say I wanted to defend my country. I didn't join up for that reason. I'm going to do a separate video, so I don't want to get into that too much of why we joined up. But what I was, like I say, getting back to the original question, aside from the Second World War veterans, people after that, and people that are serving now, do you feel in your service that you were serving to defend your country, especially on these other operations? Be interested to know your thoughts. Anyway, straight off the top of my head, I'm sorry about that, no script or nothing, it's just something that came in my head, and I just wanted to see what other people's thoughts were, because there's a lot of clever people out there that watch this channel. Don't know why, I don't know why clever people watch this, but some very intelligent people watch this, and I like to hear their views, I like to hear your views. So please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Did you think when you were serving that you were serving and you were defending our country, defending British people? Be very interested to hear from you. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, you haven't subscribed, please consider it. I'm not saying do it, I'm saying consider it. If you haven't got yourself a Let's Tab 59 exclusive limited edition baseball cap, please look back at a couple of videos ago from this and you'll see that we've got a few baseball caps. T-shirts have all but gone, I think there's maybe one left if that. We haven't got any more of those, we've just got baseball caps at the moment. We are going to be coming up with a new T-shirt in a little while, later on this summer maybe. We're having it designed, it's a different design, it's going to be a trace around T-shirt. So keep an eye out for that, and when we've got them, I'll put them up and see if anyone's interested. So, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I'm not saying do it, I'm saying consider it. Stay safe, everybody. And until the next time, and it won't be long, remember, let's tab.